Welcome back in, everyone, to EA Sports coverage of the NFL. It's the Dolphins in possession of the football as we rejoin the action in quarter number 2. On second down, here's Mixon. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. 17 yards for the Dolphins there as they got themselves a first down.
I'm okay with the call there. In fact, I actually like it. I know they're down a couple of scores, but the running game worked in that situation. I would continue to go in that direction.
First foray into the red zone for Miami. They've got a 1st and 10 at the 11. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. And this play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back to the 15. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down. A couple of plays sent them the wrong way, and now they face a 3rd and 14. Back to throw here. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 19. And he'll return it to the 24-yard line. Oh, and I saw the pressure coming at him. That just looked problematic. Hit him as he threw it, and the interception ensued.
Let me pay homage to the man who stood in this spot before. He always talked about how much pressure is in the face of a guy, and can he step into a throw. And when you can't do that, oftentimes interceptions result.
5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Now a handoff looking right. Trying to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. They'll say no gain on the play there. Now it'll be 3rd down. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. From the gun on 3rd down, Freeman. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down. And no move to get the offense off the field. They're going on 4th and 5. They're going to try and throw. And this is incomplete. So shall we say a bold decision to go for it, and that bold decision does not pay off.
And when you talk about bold, you're saying all caps?
All caps.
Yeah, without a doubt. Maybe they're telling their defense they have a lot of faith in them. I mean, that's how you have to spin it, is that you tell your defense, you know something? We were able to go for it there because you guys are so good.
They'll drop the throw. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And the Jags grab it. The big man, get the oxygen tank ready. And he brings this one back. A fumble return for the Jacksonville score. This first half has been a nightmare for that offense. Defense just dominating them.
And when you're picking up the ball, picking up their mistakes, and taking it the other way and putting it in the end zone, that's a defense's dream. They're having that type of a game.
Everything that can go wrong has gone wrong for this offensive unit. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. Joe Mixon and the rest of his offense making their way back onto the field. He's been good. They've utilized him well, but they're losing here in the second quarter. Under pressure, they got him again.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
They come up on 2nd and long, and the pass protection just has not been there this afternoon. They'll set up the throw. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football.
plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
Here's Matt Hawk now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. This is Harris. That's going to go in the books as a 55-yard punt. Well done. And the Jaguars go on offense, first down and 10. Here comes the field general leading his offense back out there for the next possession. He's played a pretty clean first half, a touchdown, no interceptions.
Frankly, that's what they expect out of him. They want to see the ball thrown and thrown well, and he's able to do that and put it in the end zone. They'd love to see more of that before this game finishes. But right now, he's got his team in a good spot.
A good spot, maybe looking for touchdown pass number 2 here in the second quarter. So apparently some grabbing of the jersey there on the O-line.
Yeah, just look in the interior, and that's where the penalty occurred.
Come on, baby, come on, let's go. Hey, let's go. Check. Get it.
Back to throw. Freeman. He sets to fire deep. And that's caught inside the 35. And he takes it down deep into enemy territory. The Jaguars now will use the last of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 20 seconds to go in the first half. A chance to really cap off a big first half here as they come up on first and goal.
Hey, wahoo!
From the gun, Freeman. And that is caught. Touchdown, Jacksonville.
Good job.
From 4 yards out. And the Jaguars are able to widen their lead. So the big play to kick off the drive set them up first and goal, and they're able to cash in right away on play number 2.
I think I'm starting to understand more and more when we get ready to do games and we meet with coaches why they talk about big plays, explosive plays, and how it sets them up for success, because that's exactly how they're able to score on this one. We saw the touchdown. We saw the payoff. But, of course, that big, long chunk play is what got them in position.
That'll be taken in the end zone. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. Typically down to the first half, I might say, oh, you at least need a field goal out of this drive. But they're down to the point where they need a touchdown, don't they?
Yeah, normally, you know me. I mean, you've been around me for a while now, right?
Unfortunately.
I'm sorry about that. But normally, I'm the one preaching patience.
Yeah.
You know, take your time. First half, you still got a chance. I think they're out of patience here. This has to be a drive that gets a touchdown. So if you're the play caller, you're going to that portion of the sheet that says big-time plays, specials, anything you can use to get yourself back into it.
That'll be taken in the end zone. And this return net's positive as he gets past the 25 and up to the 27-yard line. Out come the Jaguars now as they'll go on offense first here in this third quarter. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for third down.
Running lanes ran a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
Hey, we are down.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down. A 14-yard first down pickup for the Jaguars.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them.
Hey, defense, let's go. Watch safety creep. 80 weapons. Safety's creeping. Kill. Hey, turn it up.
And he'll give it here to his running back. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
Third quarter, and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
2nd and 4. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he's got another first down as he's brought down at the Dolphins' 31-yard line. Whatever the discussions were at halftime to try to slow down this offense, it has not worked to this point.
Yeah, I have a vision right now of everything that was discussed at the half just being torn in shreds or being erased off of the Microsoft Surface tablets because none of it is working. They are really locked in on offense.
And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard. The last run got 9. That leaves him with 2nd and a yard. And they give this time to the tailback. And they'll bring him down at the 18-yard line.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive, because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense gets a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the score. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes.
Got to give him points for the attempt, but there's just a wave of pressure there. A host of people in the area. Evades a few, but couldn't evade all of them.
Well, they're in some hot water now. After that sack, it's 2nd and 21. He's got a man. That's caught. Left sideline. That one goes for 24 yards. And that last reception puts him over 150 yards now on the game, Charles.
And now it's not just execution. It's not just performance. It's a mental aspect that's going on. Because right now, he's got the defense so much on their heels. Got them looking at each other. Who's going to cover this guy? And what type of coverage can we put out there to try and slow him down?
The line of scrimmage, once again, the 5 as they get ready for 2nd and goal.
Switch it. Come on, switch it. Check. Fresno. Mike one. Quick zone, travel.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And he will push his way forward down to about the 3-yard line. The second down play, not much better than the first, just a gain of 1 there.
His path became similar to almost running a stretch play, didn't it? Trying to find a crease, anywhere to put his foot in the ground and cut back. It just never materialized.
Looking to throw. Freeman got his man. It's caught. Touchdown, Jaguars. From 3 yards out as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. And down near the goal line here, they're able to throw it in.
And the key word, quick. Quick hitter. Out of his hands fast, into the receiver's hands even faster.
Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So here are the Dolphins now. They get ready for their first possession of the second half. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board and get some momentum here at half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
On first down, he'll drop to throw. And the Jags get to him as down he goes.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out.
And the pressure gets to him again.
That right now, that's a defeated team out there. I think you can see it totally in their body language.
Hands on hips, heads low. It's just been a struggle from the start.
Yeah, this team has been thoroughly beaten right from the word go.
And they'll bring him down at the 27-yard line. Just a 5-yard pickup, and it leads to 4th down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They tackle them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Out comes the Jacksonville offense as they get set to take over here. We find ourselves here in the midst of a one-sided affair. A lot of fill time down the stretch, Mr. Davis.
So we could talk about food because that is something that you and I
we
enjoy.
We share that.
We enjoy our time at the table. So maybe the best steakhouses in the city, but in all seriousness, the performances that we've seen this year, we've seen a bunch of great ones. And it's going to be hard to parse who's going to win the MVP.
Yeah, it really is.
Is it going to be a runner? Is it going to be a thrower? Can a defender finally win it this season? Those are the things that we could probably discuss.
And collectively, this is about as dominant of a performance as you could have hoped for on both sides of the football.
Might have to put it number one for what we've seen.
He's got the lane, and there he goes. The 40, the 20, 10. Touchdown, Jaguars. A big play there. 88 yards as his guys continue to pour it on. So another score there. Often you talk about the three phases of the game: defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a fourth phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
They are looking strong here in the fourth quarter. Extra point up and good by Sanders. And the lead will swell by one more. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And, okay, all right, I'm being facetious here. But you get points. You feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
17 yards for the Dolphins there as they've got themselves a first down. One play has them up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. They'll look to throw. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Miles Jack with a sack. Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on 2nd down. He'll look to throw. Looking left side, and it's complete. And he's going to have another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Jaguars' 36. So in Jacksonville territory now. Here's a 1st and 10 at the 36. He'll look to throw. Over the middle, it's complete. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. Another big gainer that time. This one goes for 19 yards. Inside the red zone here. They'll look to throw. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And the Jags grab it. He's at the 50. And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go. With this lead and the football, things obviously looking good, but maybe, you've taught me this before, maybe this is where the defense is hoping that the offense helps them preserve that shutout that they've got going.
And it has to be in the minds of the offense that they know how rare it is to get a shutout. So take care of them, protect them, take care of the ball, move it downfield, run the clock down. You don't want your defense to have to go on the field again the rest of the game. Reward them.
They'll run on 1st down. It's Yates. Tackled that time by Sidney Jones. The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Then he'll give it here to his running back. It's a gain of 6, moves him to a manageable 3rd and 2 situation.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
Ready? Mike 55, Mike 55. I'm trying. Now. Hey, switch gears.
And to give this time to the tailback. Boy, no chance as he was met and dropped behind the line there. Losing 2 yards that time, and now it's 4th down. Boy, not deterred from those first 2 failed attempts. They're going to go a 3rd time here on 4th down. Flushed out right. He can run for it, and he will. Nothing open downfield. He keeps it himself for 11 and a 1st down. The Jaguars going to go ahead and use their first timeout. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10. And he'll fight his way down inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. Now the Jags will use the second of their timeouts. That'll leave them with just one remaining in this fourth quarter of play. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. The Jaguars now will use the last of their timeouts. Struggle with it. I struggle. But on the other, the argument, I get it, on the other side is, hey, do something about it. Stop them.
I guarantee you, I know who's really excited. Fantasy owners who have them. Hey, listen, get the points for me. They're not worried about hurt feelings or anything like that. That's just new age stuff.
Oh, boy, rubbing a little salt in the wound there, going for 2 up this big.
You know, there's one time when I played, Brandon, played against a team that was just absolutely pile driving us, and they ended up going for 2 late in the game. And I asked one of the guys, why'd you do that? He said, because we wanted to win by more. That feels like that type of situation.
Wow. Well, it could also result in a melee later, though. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Under pressure, and they got to him again.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this.
And he's taken down. Back at his own 7. So this will be a win for Jacksonville. And I